Hello there guys, my name is MrYorkiesWorld, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another full flight video for the first time in a long time. In fact, I think this might be the first time we've actually done a full flight video in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we're in the Airbus A320 Neo, the fly-by-wire A320 Neo to be perfectly exact. It's very, very good to be back, and we're going to do a nice short flight today. We are currently parked at gate A11 or Alpha 11 at KLAS, also known as good old Las Vegas, and we're going to be flying over to San Diego today with Spirit, which is an absolutely lovely livery, by the way. Spirit 1261 or November Kilo Sierra 1261. Again, it takes about an hour and 3 minutes according to SimBrief. And yeah, so let's just get straight into it. We've got some absolutely gorgeous visuals going on. We've got the sort of city of Las Vegas there. And if I can actually control the camera. No, I can't, because I'm on the external camera, on the showcase camera. And I'm using my Xbox remote. So there's Las Vegas. It's about 6:30 AM local time. As you can see the moon up there. Gorgeous, gorgeous mountains as well. And we've got such an alive atmosphere is what I'll call it. Not got any ATC today or any air traffic, we've just got ground traffic. But there we go. We can see the catering is on the way, and so is the baggage. Although, oh no, it sorted itself out before the sort of baggage thing was inside the aircraft here, which didn't look all too well. And we're not exactly lined up at the stand either, but there we go. So without further ado, let's go into the virtual cockpit. You can see we are currently completely cold and dark. One thing about this is the development version of the A320 Neo by Fly-by-Wire has the EFB and the coffee cup as well. This is customizable, which I will shortly be doing like a tutorial to show people how to do that. It's quite easy. But yeah, so we should have like a MrYorkiesWorld one there at some point when I can get round to it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get some external power and the batteries. I'm going to sort out the IRSs. I'm a cheater, so I've set them to instantly align. We can set crew supply on and arm the emergency lights. I'm going to go ahead and get some internal lighting going on here as well. Just lighten things up a little bit. Go down here as well. We can lock the cockpit door. Probably wouldn't happen at this stage, but that's what we're going to do. And what we will do is just switch on the flight directors, VORs left and right, and I'm then going to go down and just increase the brightness on the displays a little bit, just to make sure I can see them, because I'm virtually blind without them being bright enough. I like to be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. And straight down into the FMC. So the ATSU page, AOC menu, perf, and I'm going to request it from SimBrief. Block fuel is 5.1, but I'll put it I'll round it to 5.2. We can load that in. We can then load in the passengers and the baggage and everything like that. We can go to the init page, request that. Not entirely sure what cost index is used by Spirit, so I'm just going to use 30. And let's go to the other page. I think we put 5.2 as the block fuel. So we'll put that in there. So perf in it, we're going to be using flat 1. Set the transition altitude correctly. And we can calculate the V-speeds. In fact, before we calculate the V-speeds, we do need to go into the actual flight plan page and select everything. So we're going to be using, let's have a look, 26 right as our departure runway according to SimBrief. And we're going to be using the Boach 8 SID with the level transition. Insert that. Let's go to destination as well and arrival. We're going to be using a localizer runway 27 approach. According to what I've read, ILS or even 09 at all is not really used for arrivals at San Diego. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to be using the Barrett 5 arrival. And we can insert that there. So, now we go to the flight plan page. And what I like to do is just go to plan mode. And just check everything, because as we can see a problem already. If we go down, we've got a little bit of a discrepancy here, so this waypoint isn't really needed. In fact, we could probably get rid of that. So get rid of EED and go straight to, is it Shady? Yeah, Shady. So let's have a look and see what that looks like if we clear EED. Maybe not. So what I will do then is I'll go straight from sort of Jotnu or level to Shady. So let's get rid of that. There we go, that looks a lot better. So the yellow line obviously shows us the edits, and instead of this weird zigzag thing, we'll just be going straight through to Shady. So we will insert that. And we'll just have a quick check through the rest of the flight plan just to make sure that it looks okay. That looks fine to me. So without further ado, we can take off the plan page now, put this back to what it was. And that is all complete. So let's just go down and make sure we've got everything else set. So seatbelt signs then, we can set those to on. We can imagine the passengers are on. We can set the nav light on. I will automatically set the beacon light on because in a minute we're just going to, you know, we're going to have the fuel pumps and everything loaded on. In fact, I'll do those now so I don't forget. So fuel pumps. Transponder is already set. Initial altitude then. So obviously we don't have ATC. So, oops, wrong knob. We don't have ATC, so I'm just going to set this straight to our cruise, which is going to be 260. Make sure that's selected. Did we start the APU? No, we didn't. We will start that now. I don't think you're supposed to put APU bleed on until it says available, but obviously we're just going to shortcut it because, yeah, there we go. We like doing that on this channel. Let's have a look what we're doing here. So it looks as if the baggage is completed and catering is completed as well. So we're just waiting now for the APU and everything to start up, which if we have a look at the aircraft at the back, we should be able to hear that happening. There we go. That is the APU starting up. Lovely, lovely sounds there. Right. So, altimeter set 3028. We're near enough ready for pushback now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the jetway. There we go, that's coming off. Did it close the door as well? I think it automatically does. Yep, it did. Look at that. Absolutely amazing sunrise. And of course we've also got the wing views, so left wing and right wing there. Absolutely gorgeous. How are we looking on that APU? It is now available, everything's okay. So what we can do is begin the before start checklist. So fuel pumps are all on. Ground control is, you can't really do anything with it anyway at the moment. Beacon light, we switched that on. I'm going to switch the strobes to auto so that we don't have to mess around with them. External power we can get rid of. And we can request push and start. So let me just click the shortcut key that I've got on my joystick. You can see the truck starts moving. And then we need the starter switch in the ignition position. That's a weird combination, ignition position. And we can take off the parking brake as well. So you will start to notice, because we've loaded the flight plan from SimBrief, for some reason it likes to induce stutters in the simulator, specifically when we're turning round corners, so I'm not looking forward to that. But there we go. So we'll wait while we start moving. In fact, we'll do engine 2 now, and wait a few more seconds. You can see it spooling up there. And then engine 1. And the good thing about Pushback Express, which is what we're using here, is that we can obviously use the joystick to push us around, or to change the direction. It would be nice to have like a GSX style thing where you can sort of select tail left, tail right, and it automatically follows the taxi line and stuff, but I don't think we can do that at the moment. So I'm going to just begin the turn. This is actually tail right. And we want to be on Golf 1. Just ease off a little bit. Just while we line up. It's not an exact science, it can be a little bit fiddly. Just try to reposition the camera there a little bit, just try making that turn now, might be a little bit early. It's not the best control system in the world for pushbacks, but it is the best that we've got until GSX comes out. I think we're going to overshoot a little bit, but I'm not really too bothered about that. As long as we're somewhat on the taxi line, we can correct it once we actually start. So we'll end the pushback there. Set the parking brake. Another thing, it does this weird thing with the camera as well. When you select the forward view camera, it'll like do this, and then you have to click it again to get it in the right position. It's a bit weird. But there we go. So, that is pushback complete. Engines are started by the looks of it. We'll wait a few seconds, just to make sure. And let's have a look. So, auto throttle we can set. The APU can come off. We can switch on the runway turn-offs and the taxi light there. And how are we looking? We're looking okay. We just need to line up with the taxiway a little bit better. Let's do the flaps as well. So flap 1. Like so. And we can set the ignition back to normal. Speed brake is armed. Auto brake is set to max. Let's just increase the volume of this. Or the brightness, sorry. Looking good. And I think that's about it. So we should be able, if the truck's out of the way, which it is, it's all the way back over there now. We should be able to release the parking brake. And begin our taxi. Now at the moment I have got a weird thing that's causing the aircraft to turn to the left. The nose wheel is turning to the right, sorry, on its own. So that's not me doing that. It's sort of got a mind of its own, but we'll have to deal with it because I don't actually know what has caused that. It's just very, very annoying. Oh no, it seems to have sorted itself out. I wonder what the hell that was. So that appears to have resolved itself. Not sure exactly what it was that was causing that. More than likely, it's me that's done something wrong, or put some extra pressure on something that I shouldn't have. But I'm happy we've resolved it anyway. I'm not exactly sure how we'd resolved it, but yeah, as you guys can see, it just sort of stopped doing what it was doing. But nevertheless, absolutely gorgeous Las Vegas scenery by FlyTampa. I'm a huge fan of FlyTampa's sceneries anyway. So it was an absolute treat when I purchased this. Really is a nice piece of scenery. So it's weird, it's like if I did the ailerons sort of left and right, like this. You can probably see better like this. And that seems to have fixed it. So maybe it was something to do with one of my control surfaces. Or controls. For a moment I thought maybe it's to do with the Xbox controller that's connected to the sim, but I don't really think that can be a contributing factor. So here we go. We are currently at the runway. Runway 26 right. That stutter when we turn around like that, it's very unusual, but unfortunately there's not a lot we can do about it. Before we enter the runway, let me just go ahead and configure everything. So transponder. We will also set takeoff lights, and landing lights can come on. And the strobes we've set to auto, so that's all fine anyway. Veering off a little bit. Terrible performance at the moment. FPS is perfectly fine, but that stuttering really needs to be looked at. And I don't know whether it's a sim problem or whether it's a problem with the actual aircraft itself, because the Neo, it works perfectly fine without a sim brief plan loaded, and it doesn't have this issue. But as soon as you load a sim brief plan, regardless of the size of the airport or anything like that, it does it. But nevertheless, we can spool up. I'm happy we got that taxi problem sorted. Looking stable. Toga. Now I've always been told to put some pressure on the nose, forward pressure, until we reach 100 knots. So I'm going to do that. God help us if we had that problem with the turns. Did we calculate the V-speeds? No, I don't think we did. And if we did, they're not working. So there we go. Forgetting 101 things today. Positive rate. Gear up. And autopilot, which appears to be turning us in slightly the wrong way actually. But there's Las Vegas. Flaps can come up. Lever to CLB. And here we go. So let's just climb to 260. So despite every problem in the world, we managed to make it into the air. The joys of flight sim, you've got to love it, haven't you? And we're going to begin that left turn now. Stuttering sort of improves when you get to this altitude, but we'll soon see whether it's going to be a problem later on in the flight. But there we go. Goodbye, Las Vegas. There it is. A little bit more stutter there. As we come on 8,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and switch off the seatbelt signs early. The nose lights can come off as well, and so can the turn-offs. And we're coming up on 10,000. So there we go. Looking very nice. Very nice indeed. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. It's going to be a nice short flight. Just to get back into it. Just to get behind the rudder pedals again, if you will. Get behind the yoke. Or non-existent yoke. Whoa, what the hell was that? That was a bit of a wind gust. But absolutely gorgeous. Welcome back, everybody, to Full Flight Videos. Hopefully the next one that we do will not have so many issues. Such as the little glitch there with my joystick. Lovely sunshine. Lovely mountains and scenery. Look at that. I think it tops anything that we can really get in P3D straight out of the box. Absolutely beautiful. Lovely wing view. Cannot beat it. Absolutely cannot beat it. Loving the Spirit livery as well. Wonderful. So anyway, without further ado, I will leave you guys with some lovely cinematics as we head over to San Diego. Catch up with you soon. Alright guys, so already we can see this is where we are on EFB, and we are coming up on the 150 mile mark, which is when I like to start my descent. Now I'm going to begin a descent initially down to 8,000, which will begin now, and we should have somewhere a green banana on EFB which will tell me when we are due to be at that altitude for. We actually need to be about 2,500, so we'll probably adjust that in a little bit. We've got everything in terms of the FMC setup, so we've got the approach localized at 2.7. Speed is going to be about 129, but we'll put it at 130. We're getting blown around a little bit as well, which is it's happening quite spontaneously, in fact. But again, in fact, what I'm going to do is we'll set the altitude to 5,000 if it'll let me get the click spot. There we go. We've set auto brake medium, and of course we've got the spoilers armed as well. And I'm just going to check on this checklist. Check on the checklist, if you will. Everything seems to be set up correctly as we descend on our way down. But it's been a very, very short flight. The cinematics probably didn't go on for as long as what a normal set of cinematics in one of my full flight videos would. But still, And the reason that I'm not sort of descending too far is because I want to make sure that we are taking into consideration the terrain, because the terrain around this area is a little bit iffy. So we want to make sure that we're not sort of too low. You can see if we look on EFB here, it's saying that we are too low, but that's literally just because we've started our descent early. But as you can see, if we zoom out, the green banana's there, that's where we should get to about 5,000. And this is our approach here. So we should be okay. We should be okay indeed. Got the descent going nicely. And it's good to be back, it really is. It's very good to be back. While we're descending, in fact, I'm not sure whether I mentioned, but this is the development version of the A320 Neo. It does come with the coffee cup, and I will be doing a tutorial at some point on the channel how you can edit this and put your own custom coffee cup on there. The EFB is the fly pad. You can use it to load the flight plan, the same as what you can in the FMC, but it's a little bit nicer looking. And you can see it's not really loaded it yet on here, but we can click from SimBrief and it would probably load it up. Got like dispatch stuff, like fuel, payload, which at the moment is in op. Flight is in op, performance, company. Obviously you can set SimBrief in there, and sort of ground controls and stuff, so it is pretty good. Obviously you click the little button up there where it's like a plus sign, and that turns it off. But yeah, it's really really quite a nice little tool. So anyway, without further ado, I'll catch you with you guys a little bit later on when we are ready to begin our final approach into San Diego. Right, okay guys, so we're actually going to make quite a rapid descent at the moment. We're going to use some speed brake as well, just to help us slow down, because we are approaching. Let's just put the landing system on. As you can see, we are coming down. We need to be at 5,000, which we're already at 3,000, 3,500. And the speed's coming back as well. So we just need to make sure that we're on profile. We had to watch the mountains on the way in. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous mountains, but we had to watch out for them. And we're currently at flap 1, but I'm going to set a lower speed just so that we can... Let's get rid of that. Arm those again, just so that we can try and reduce the speed down as much as possible. Let's capture the localizer. And I'm going to go for flap 2. And we're actually, what we will do is we'll take gear down nice and early. Because I want to make sure that we're lined up on the runway and I can see everything and I'm happy with everything. And I think it was 130 was the final approach speed. So full flaps. We'll set a few knots above what we need to be at. In fact, we're just going to increase that speed a little bit more just to keep that nose where we want it. And as soon as the runway comes into sight, we'll reduce that back down. So I'm going to set, I In fact, I'm going to take manual control of the aircraft all the way out here. Just set that speed to the final approach speed. Maybe a few knots more. I can see the runway. So we are visual. Look at this scenery, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I am visual with the runway. Looking absolutely gorgeous as we make our way down. It is quite a way out, is the runway, but I think we can handle it. Just trying to stay nice and steady with the adjustments, nothing too serious. We've got a nice 9-knot headwind. Looking absolutely gorgeous, look at that. Just going to try and keep that nose lifted up a little bit because I don't want to dip down too quickly, but at the same time I think it's quite a steep descent that we need to make at sort of like the last minute. Not visual with the pappies yet at all. Let's just connect flight control replay. That is now recording. Just for the replay there. Let's get back onto profile. A little bit low at the moment. Yeah, I think we gathered that we're at 1,000. Just trying to straighten up. Absolutely gorgeous. It's like one of those approaches where it's all of a sudden you have to make a change. Because we're a little bit low at the moment, sort of, let's just lift that nose up a little bit. Till we get those pappies back. It's going a little bit crazy at the moment because of the terrain. There we go. Back on profile. It's more visual now than it is anything else. We will be able to take a look at the replay after we've landed and parked up at the gate. Continue. Touchdown. Reverses. And at 60 knots, manual braking. A little bit hazy on the ground. Let's take this rapid exit here. I'll take that. That was pretty okay. Not perfect, but that was reasonable. Now I'm going to do what we probably shouldn't do, which is stop right here. Let's just put the spoilers away, and we can also get those flaps put away. And we need to take a look and see where we're going to park. So according to FlightAware, we were supposed to be at gate 16. So let's have a look on there. And yeah, that seems okay. So gate 16 looks good. Let's just clean a few things up. There's only one of me, so I'm being forced to do it this way rather than sort of wait until we are taxiing along. But there we go. Welcome everybody to San Diego. Beautiful, beautiful approach that was. I cannot wait to see the replay because we'll be able to see all that lovely scenery coming in. And we are heading for gate 16. So while I'm at it, let's turn these off. They can go to taxi. No, if it works. Those can come off. APU. But that is it. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous scenery for San Diego. I can't remember who developed this particular scenery. It is payware, but I just can't remember who it was. Not sure what's happening over there. Bit weird. And I think our parking spot is right there. Let's have a look. Turn these off. Turn that off. Here is gate 16. Not a perfect landing, that. I would have liked to do better, but at the same time it wasn't the worst one I've ever done. So look at that haze. Very, very hazy. Let's try and get the parking right. I don't actually know which one of these is the right one. We'll just go for the end one, just for the sake of it. I think anywhere about... Ah, that'll do it, that'll do it, there we go. There we are. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select external power and forget the APU. In fact, we could have left that on, doesn't matter anyway. We'll turn all that off and cut the engines. So, the logbook says that our departure time was 11:53 PM, which it wasn't, and our arrival time was 12:36 AM, which it wasn't. It was a 42-minute flight because we cut out a few of the legs. Not sure what all this duration... This is obviously incorrect because the time of the sim at the moment is set to 7:41 AM, which is the time that we've just arrived, which is very strange. But that, ladies and gentlemen, let me just stop the recording there on flight control replay. I'm going to try and connect up my Xbox controller to the simulator, and we will go to an external view. Wherever the... Oh, there we go. There we are. But welcome, everybody. Let's just go ahead and connect the jetway as well. That would be helpful. Welcome, everybody, to San Diego. Hope you enjoyed the flight. I am very, very excited to look at the replay for this and to include some cinematics of the landing as well. Hope you enjoyed. Leave me a like if you did. Apologies about the multiple mistakes, but there we go. And did we even park in the right place? I think we might have. But that is it. Welcome to San Diego. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a like if you did. Comment with any suggestions that you may have for a future flight. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.
$500, $400. 400, 400, 400, 400, 400, 400, 400, 400, 300, 300, 200, 200, 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.